Cattle-Raid of Cooley, Part 2, the occasion of the Tain. Then were brought to them the least precious of their possessions, that they might know which of them had the more treasure, riches, and wealth. Their pails and their cauldrons and their iron-wrought vessels, their jugs and their kneves and their eared pitchers were fetched to them. Likewise their rings and their bracelets and their thumb rings and their golden treasures were fetched to them, and their apparel, both purple and blue and black and green, yellow, varicolored and gray, dun, mottled, and brindled. Their numerous flocks of sheep were led in from the fields and meads and plains. These were counted and compared, and found to be equal, of like size, of like number. However, there was an uncommonly fine ram over Medb's sheep, and he was equal in worth to a bondsmaid, but a corresponding ram was over all ewes of Ahill. Their horses and steeds and studs were brought from pastures and paddocks. There was a noteworthy horse in Medb's herd, and he was of value of a bondmaid. A horse to match was found among Ahills. Then there were numerous droves of swine driven from woods and shelving glens and wolds. These were numbered and counted and claimed. There was a noteworthy boar with Medb, and yet another with Ahill. Next they brought before them their droves of cattle and their herds and their roaming flocks from the breaks and wastes of the province. These were counted and numbered and claimed, and they were the same for both, equal in size, equal in number, except only there was an exceptional bull in the bawn of Ahill, and he was a calf of one of Medb's cows. The Finbenach was his name, but he, deeming it no honor to be in a woman's possession, had left and gone over to the kine of the king. And it was the same to Medb as if she owned not a pennyworth, forasmuch as she had not a bull of his size amongst her cattle. Then it was that Macroth the messenger was summoned to Medb, and Medb strictly bade Macroth to learn where there might be found a bull of that likeness in any of the provinces of Erin. Verily, said Macroth, I know where the bull is that is best and better again in the province of Ulster, in the hundred of Coolnge, in the house of Daire, son of Fiancha, even Táin Coolnge, the brown bull of Coolnge he is called. Go thou to him, Macroth, and ask for me of Daire the loan for a year of the brown bull of Coolnge, and at the year's end he shall have the meed of the loan, to wit 50 heifers, and the Táin Coolnge himself. And bear thou a farther boon with thee, Macroth. Should the border folk and those of the country grudge the loan of that rare jewel that is the brown bull of Coolnge, let Daire himself come with his bull, and he shall get a measure equaling his own land of the smooth plain of Ai, and a chariot of the worth of thrice 7 bondsmaids, and he shall enjoy my own close friendship. Thereupon the messengers fared forth to the house of Daire, son of Fiancha. This was the number wherewith Macroth went, namely, 9 couriers. Anon welcome was lavished on Macroth in Daire's house. Fitting welcome it was. Chief messenger of all was Macroth. Daire asked of Macroth what had brought him upon the journey and why he was come. The messenger announced the cause for which was come, and related the contention between Medb and Ahill. And this is to beg the loan of the brown bull of Coolnge to match the white horn that I am come, said he. And thou shalt receive the hire of this loan, even 50 heifers, and the brown of Coolnge himself, and yet more I may add. Come thyself with thy bull, and thou shalt have of the land of the smooth soul of Magi, as much as thou ownest here, and a chariot of the worth of thrice 7 bondsmaids, and enjoy Medb's friendship to boot. At these words Daire was well pleased, and he leapt for joy so that the seams of his flock bed rent in twain beneath him. By the truth of our conscience, said he, however the Ulstermen take it, whether ill or well, this time this jewel shall be delivered to Ahill and to Medb, the brown of Coolnge to wit, and the land of Connaught. Well pleased was Macroth at the words of the son of Fiancha. Thereupon they were served, and straw and fresh rushes were spread under them. The choicest of food was brought to them, and a feast was served to them as soon as they were noisy and drunken. And a discourse took place between 2 of the messengers. "'Tis true what I say," spoke the one. "Good is the man in whose house we are. Of a truth he is good. Nay, is one among all the men of Ulster better than he?" persisted the first. In sooth there is, answered the second messenger. Better is Conchobar, whose man he is. Conchobar, who holds the kingship of the province. And though all the Ulstermen gathered around him, it were no shame for them. Yet it is passing good of Daire, that what had been a task for the four mighty provinces of Erin to bear away from the land of Ulster, even the brown bull of Cúalnge is surrendered so freely to us 9 footmen. Hereupon the third runner had a say. What is this ye dispute about? He asked. You runner says, a good man is the man in whose house we are. Yea, he is good, saith the other. Is there among all the Ulstermen any that is better than he? Demanded the first runner farther. Aye, there is, answered the second runner. Better is Conchobar, whose man he is. And through all the Ulstermen gathered around him, it were no shame for them. Yet truly good it is of Daire, that what had been a task for 4 of the grand provinces of Erin to bear away out of the borders of Ulster is handed over even unto us 9 footmen. I would not grudge to see a wretch of blood and gore in the mouth wear out that was said, for where the bull was not given willingly, yet should he be taken by force. At that moment it was that Daire mac Fiachna, chief steward, came into the house, and with him a man with drink and another with food. And he heard the foolish words of the runners, and anger came upon him, and he set down their food and drink for them. And he neither said to them, Eat, nor did he say, Eat not. Straightway he went into the house where was Daire mac Fiachna, and said, Was it thou that hast given that notable jewel to the messengers, the brown bull of Cúalnge? Yea, it was I, Daire made answer. Verily, it was not the part of a king to give him. For it is true what they say. Unless thou hadst bestowed him of thine own free will, so wouldst thou yield him in despite of thee by the host of Ihil and Medb, and by the great cunning of Fergus MacRoyd. I swear by the gods whom I worship, spoke Daire, they shall in no wise take by foul means what they cannot take by fair. There they abide till morning. Betimes on the morrow the runners arise and proceed to the house where is Daire. Acquaint us, Lord, how we may reach the place where the brown bull of Cúalnge is kept. Nay then, saith Daire, but were it my wont to deal foully with messengers or with travelling folk, or with them that go by the road, not one of you would depart alive. How sayest thou? Quoth MacRoth. Great cause there is, replied Daire. Ye said, unless I yielded in good sort, I should yield to the might of Ihil's host and Medb's, and the great cunning of Fergus. Even so, said MacRoth, whatever the runners drunken with thine ale and thine viands have said, 'tis not for thee to heed nor mind, nor yet to be charged on Ihil and on Medb. For all that, MacRoth, this time I will not give my bull if ever I can help it. Back then the messengers go till they arrive at Cuchulain, the stronghold of Connaught. Medb asks their tidings, and MacRoth makes known the same, that they had not brought his bull from Daire. And the reason? Demanded Medb. MacRoth recounts to her how the dispute arose. There is no need to polish knots over such affairs as that, MacRoth, for it was known, said Medb. If the brown bull of Cúalnge would not be given with their will, he would be taken in their despite, and taken he shall be.